It's Toekenz Tidbits time.
What? It is the first Toekenz Tidbits of 2023. Do I need to pick that up?
No, I think that's great. It's just a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? Toekenz Tidbits. It's Toekenz Tidbits time. It's Toekenz yeah, okay. I'm being stupid.
Toekenz Tidbits oh my God.
The
Yes.
Toekenz Tidbits tongue twister. So what is Toekenz Tidbits in a nutshell?
What is Toekenz Tidbits? Toekenz Tidbits is our weekly, frequent, often
topical, right? It's like something comes out in the news and we got to talk about it, or we should talk about it, or what have you. Like, this is our opportunity to discuss, right?
That's right.
The newest, the latest, the greatest, and stay current.
That's right. And for our listeners to stay current, so we're bringing you the latest breaking news on Toekenz Tidbits with our own Toekenz twist.
You're too much.
So first of all, Happy New Year, Jeff. It's great to see you.
It's great to see you too. Happy New Year. Anything cool happen over the break that I need to know about?
Oh, plenty. Although pretty much everything cool that happened also happened under like the shroud of sickness, as one by one, every member of my family went down at some point over the holiday, but we're coming out of it now and it's all good.
Yep. Sounds familiar. Same stuff over here. Enjoyed the holiday and, a nice little respite, but happy to be back in it and so super excited about 2023 because there's a lot on the horizon for Toekenz and for us.
Indeed. Yep. We're on the verge of releasing our soft release and our early access release of the application. So stoked about that. Is it application or app? Because I know app is just like the slang term, but it's an application, right? So should I Toekenz app?
Yeah, it's an app. Call it an app. Application, everything's an application, right? The website that we're on right now is an application, just a web application. But who cares? We call it an app, right? We're all about being short, brevity, the soul of wit. It's the Toekenz app, and it's coming out soon. And Iris, what did you say about early access?
Yes, an early access release of the Toekenz app, available exclusively to our waitlisters and to our kids co-founder program. So those are families and kids that are ambassadors and have a vested interest, literal equity in our company in seeing Toekenz success.
So what do I need to do to get on that list?
Well, thank you for asking, Jeff. Go to the toekenz.com website, add your email to the join the waitlist field, send it through to Toekenz, and we'll be in touch.
So Toekenz like the normal spelling of tokens?
No. Funny you should ask. It's toekenz.com. And we chose .com very specifically. I know .io and .co are all of these, very popular technical extensions, but we went with com because we want because we were able to get it, but also because of the, familiarity and the commercial idea. Let's talk about how the industry is writing itself, right? So the first article we have is from where?
It's from Hacker Noon, and the title of said article is NFTs are not dying. They are evolving. Iris, are NFTs dying?
They are not. No, they are evolving. And in the disruption in the industry, both crypto and NFT, Web3 overall, right? I think that some of what's been happening is the industry righting itself, finding its equilibrium, and finding, like what we're trying to build at Toekenz, a more stable, more consistent, more reliable infrastructure to support the expansion and the evolution of the underlying blockchain technology, but then also the utility and the use cases for NFTs themselves.
Yeah. So in effect, clearing out the crud.
A little bit, right? And this is what happened in the early .com boom and the early .com days where, everybody and their mothers were throwing everything at the wall to see, what do we make of this new technology? And then the bubble burst. And now we have the mainstay companies that have come out of that era of technological advancement. And in a way, I mean, it's not to say that it's not going to be painful or continue to be a process, right? But it seems like a evolutionary process that we've seen before and that we're going through now.
Hmm. So this article from Hacker Noon, it's a pretty short article, but it's pretty scary. Like what they quote at the beginning of it. Right? It says, starting from January 2022, the NFT market fell 97% from its peak, with art pieces and collectibles having seen their prices fade massively from millions of dollars to barely a few $100. What do you make of that? Scary.
Yeah, it is a little scary. It's scary to think about also from a very personal perspective what a lot of early adopters and collectors have been through in the last year, right? The big the big boom and bust of not only crypto but of NFTs as financialized assets, right? And I think what we're seeing is that treating NFTs as a speculative asset doesn't really doesn't it hasn't found its groove yet, or now it's equalizing at a much less speculative level where utility really becomes the king.
So yeah, it starts off scary, okay, but the
Yeah.
segue in the article is nice too, right? Because what the like you said, to build on what you were saying, it's not about your overpriced NFT pictures anymore that got real
Mm,
trendy. It's NFTs are now transforming, right, evolving
mhm.
into a useful instrument that can solve pain points in different industries and generate new opportunities for companies.
Right.
So
We're
then,
talking about big name brands getting in with really compelling digital engagement and digital marketing use cases. Brands like Dolce& and Gabbana, Tiffany& and Co., Gucci, like, obviously, it makes NFTs make a lot of sense for high-end goods where authentication is really important, but then also everyday, brands like coffee giant Starbucks and their new Odyssey program, which we discussed in our first Tidbits episode, right? These are some big brand use cases for who are investing in Web3 technology, in addition to other use cases like for games, or like the article goes on to address, even charities, which is a big part of what we're doing, of course, with tokens.
right. Another big part of what you're doing with tokens is the pay to earn
Mm,
concept, and sorry, play to earn
mhm.
concept. And it says here in this article is quoted that in 2021 data saw the play to earn market valued at just shy of 800 million. This is projected to reach 2.7 billion by just 2028, according to I don't know what they're looking at, their models, I
Their
guess.
projections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not, it's a growth area. I think it's a pivot and a bit of a change in the industry, but I think that the bottom line is whether NFTs are used to do good, like the article talks about protecting wildlife, supporting artists, supporting content creators, or whether it is to drive big brand marketing campaigns, right? The I always refer to it as like the underlying technology of the blockchain, I think will continue to revolutionize every aspect of our digital lives.
How many blockchains are there? And is there a clear like winner or front runner or anything like that? Like what's the deal there?
Yeah. I don't know how many blockchains there are, but there are a lot. Obviously, Ethereum is the industry standard, and Ether, their currency, is is also the cryptocurrency industry standard when it comes to NFTs. Of course, there's Bitcoin, and then small b Bitcoin, which refers to the cryptocurrency, but it doesn't have the same infrastructure to provide NFTs with utility, which is why so much is built on Ethereum. But of course, Polygon's Matic and Binance's Smart Chain, both of which we support at on Tokens, are big front runners. Polygon also has a very important partnership with Disney through their accelerator program. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see Disney come out with a lot of their blockchain based products on Polygon and their Matic chain or their Matic utilizing their Matic coin. But of course, there's so many. I mean, Algorand is big. Um, the list goes on and on. Flow is huge, and um, there's a lot of incentive for developing on Flow in partnership with Dapper Labs. So I think that there's lots of options, and in some ways, what's happening is a blockchain war. What becomes industry standard? What is really the gateway or used for mass adoption? And all of this technology tipping into mainstream.
Mm.
Um, Time will tell, and um, probably like computer hardware, the software, the product, the
Yes.
application of the blockchain is what's going to drive that adoption of the blockchain itself.
Totally cool. Okay, so you basically said, if I'm going to summarize, that you do think it's sort of a race, and that there will be some sort of a consolidation in terms of the blockchains. And what will drive that will be the projects or softwares that are built on top of those various chains. And right now, it kind of looks like there are, in your eyes, a couple of front runners. Okay, anything else you want to bring up about this Hacker Noon article? What'd you think about it?
Yeah, I think that the charity angle is really important and not to be overlooked. The fact that this new technology is benefiting charitable organizations, and that's one of the use cases, I think is great, and it's really good for the industry, right? Um, if we can if we can increase the energy efficiency, if we can offset carbon emissions, and if we can do good with NFT projects, then the industry, I think, is really primed and ready for mass adoption.
Totally. I'm so glad you brought that up. 'Cause even think about the donor, right? In the past, if I'm just a benevolent human being and I want to give back and I decide to donate to a charity, in the past, what do I get from that, aside from feeling great about being a good human being? Is, what, maybe a tax write off also, if I need to write something off my taxes. But with the adoption of NFTs, and utilizing it in this capacity for donation, you actually get something. You get an NFT in exchange for your charitable donation. And that NFT has intrinsic value on its own, whether it be access to an event or something like that, or, basically you can trading it or selling it on a secondary market. The list can go on and on and on. But what it does is it gives additional incentive for people to be, donating money to charitable organizations, which is a good thing.
Right. It's like your certificate. It's a certificate that you receive, or it's your NPR mug that you get
Yep.
in exchange for your donation, which is exactly what the Forbes article talks about. In three ways NFTs can supercharge corporate events, right? They talk in that article about NFTs as tickets, NFTs as rewards, NFTs as souvenirs, and and in this case, NFTs as certificates of your charitable donation or your charitable involvement, right? As a means to authenticate and to register an event on an
Mhm.
immutable ledger, right? NFTs have now we're really talking about endless use cases.
Yeah, totally. In the souvenir concept is great as well. I'm imagining a future where we totally like gamify world traveling, and like, say you go to visit Mount Rushmore or something, that act like earns you a Mount Rushmore NFT or a badge, right? And you can now try to get one for every national monument in America and encourage people to get around and help, the tourism industry, right? You could do it for every city, every state, every national treasure. I mean, around the world. The list goes on and on.
I love
Um,
that.
isn't that cool though? I mean, like, then at the end of my, my storied life, I would have something to show for all the places I've been to, instead of like a push pin in the map in my office or something that people do to keep track of this. Like, it's now housed forever on the immutable ledger. Like you said, anybody, my progeny, for generations and generations, can look it up and see my story and see when I did what and why. And maybe those things have value when you build onto them. Like, maybe you get like super American traveler status when you've
Right.
been to all 50 states or something like that, and you've earned those badges. It's gamification of everything.
I love that. I love that. And I have so many analog examples of what you're talking about. So my dad, for example, is a national parks lifetime member, right? He has his little card. He pulled it out the last time we went to Yosemite. Totally surprised me. We got free admission. It was great. How did
That's
he
cool.
get that? How do you authenticate something like that?
Yeah.
How do you actually make that a memento or an heirloom that he could pass on to me? Well, through an NFT. I also was really excited when we went to the place with the geyser.
Yellowstone?
Yes,
Oh,
Yellow
Old Faithful?
yes, Old Faithful at Yellowstone. I went and I got 3 national park passports for my kiddos and myself,
Hmm.
and, went and got them got my Yellowstone, page canceled at the visitor center and whatnot. But then when we went to Yosemite, I forgot their passports, and we had to cancel out a piece of paper that we were then going to stick into our, national park passports to validate that we had been there at that specific day. But I say all of this to say, if I simply had it right here on my phone,
Done.
right, done. I'm not messing with these paper items. I'm not having to run to the visitor center to go and to purchase them or to remember to bring them along because I have it in my phone that I bring with me everywhere. And it's something that is, verifiable and that we could potentially, save or pass on to future generations.
So cool.
The Toekenz National Park program. I think we can tackle that just like Rarible. I think it was Rarible that they mentioned in the Forbes article has tackled the Academy Awards. If you win an
Yeah.
Oscar, you now get your Oscar NFT.
Awesome. And so those EGOT winners would get all 4. And
That's
then
right.
that would unlock some other awesome adventure for them. I don't know,
Has to.
the 5 EGOT members or
Has to.
whatever.
And then you talk about, how this works cross chain and
Right.
cross businesses, right? Because, you don't have to be one of those EGOT institutions. By the way, for our listeners, what's an EGOT?
That's when you have all 4 of the majors, right? You've got an Emmy, you've got a Grammy, you've got an Oscar, and you've got a Tony. There's only a handful of entertainers that have actually achieved the EGOT. I probably couldn't even name one of them for you. Maybe Eminem. No, not Eminem. I don't know.
Super performers, right? And maybe
Yeah.
people don't necessarily need to be authenticated, but if it's as simple as verifying it on the chain and rewarding these people for their incredible achievements, well, you can do that from any company or any entity because it's all there and accessible on the blockchain.
It's very cool, and more and more things are going to come online and start using NFT technologies to do cool things like this. And so I think it is probably fair to say no, NFTs are not dead. NFTs are definitely evolving, and we can expect to see a lot more utilizing this new technology.
Agreed. Agreed. And we want to be a part of it.
Mm.
Lots of ideas that we discussed here today about use cases for future use cases for the evolution of NFTs. I don't know, there's probably some kind of like IP rights issue, but I'd love to hear other examples that our listeners might have from their lives or from their experience.
Yeah, totally. And things that we could do at Tokens as well. Like Iris, I loved your idea about the Tokens Traveler program. We need to, spend some more time thinking about what that could mean in operation. And if our listeners have any requests, we are all ears.
We're always taking them, so you can reach out to us at Toekenz or at Toekenz NFT on social media. You can go to our site, join our waitlist, and contact us at toekens.com.
Iris, what else do you get if you join the wait list and you get early access? In addition to early access to the Tokens app when it launches,
Yep.
what else do you get?
Yeah, so you get access, to the app, real-time feedback and direct contact with the Toekenz team, but also an exclusive collectible and one-time only Toekenz NFT.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so immediately start building that collection in addition to being able to buy, sell, and play to collect those additional Baby Shark NFTs on the Toekenz app.
If you're one of those people that likes being first, hit us up.
Hit us up, toekens.com. We love to hear from you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Toekenz Tidbits. We'll have these and many more guests on the Toekenz Podcast throughout 2023. Happy New Year, and thanks for listening.